Go through one of our nation's largest malls, the latest on the mass shooting.
Millions across the country are dealing with heavy rain and flooding. I'm Elise Preston with a look at how a bomb cyclone is impacting the Northeast.
Also, we look at a potential pumpkin shortage for pickers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A federal judge in Oklahoma says the state can move forward with scheduled lethal injections for 5 death row inmates. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, executions are set to resume in the Sooner State. Judge Stephen Friot's ruling paves the way for the state to proceed with a total of 7 lethal injections scheduled over the next 6 months. 5 of those 7 inmates had argued their execution should be put on hold, while Friot hears a legal challenge to the state's 3-drug lethal injection protocol. Among those 5 inmates is Julius Jones, whose case and death sentence drew international attention. Attorneys for the inmates promised to appeal the judge's ruling. Oklahoma halted lethal injections in Oklahoma after 2 men died in what were widely criticized as botched executions. Officials from 2 Northeast Oklahoma cities are siding with the state and law enforcement groups in a request to the Supreme Court to overturn the MCGIRT ruling. That ruling found that Oklahoma has no jurisdiction over crimes committed by or against Native Americans on tribal reservations. But now Tulsa and Owasso have joined Texas, Kansas, Louisiana, and Nebraska in filing briefs supporting Oklahoma's request that the Supreme Court overturn the ruling. Both cities argue crimes, especially domestic violence cases, are not being prosecuted. A federal prosecutor and the Cherokee Nation disputes the claims. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt has called the MCGIRT decision the biggest issue facing the state and praised the filings.
Creating a little bit of a backlog there, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, we are looking for sunshine still today. I know
we had plenty this morning.
Yeah.
But we've got a low pressure system moving in. Not only is that going to result in very calm weather for today, but also thunderstorms by the time we get to the middle of the week. There we are for a live look outside of Television City. We see the cooler temperatures up to the north. We've got a 10-degree difference there. Check out Fort Scott at the very top in the middle of your screen, and compared to Miami down in the south in the middle of your screen. 10-degree difference right there. Joplin sits currently at 63, Chanute at 62, and Carthage at 62. It's a Skywatch storm tracker with cloud coverage running right through the middle. But what we'll pay attention to is this developing out to the west. That flashing red right there, that's a fire watch for them. Not going to affect us because we're going to get plenty of rain here by the time it's all said and done. Jet stream in the ridge, and when we talk about the ridge and the trough, remember a ridge goes up here. That thing was sitting right here this morning. Yeah, we're starting to move. That means it's ushering in a low pressure system just as on the east side of the Rockies right now. And as it arrives, is going to feed us a whole lot of rain. Now, we'll be fine during the afternoon and evening hours. Really won't get started until early tomorrow morning. But once it does, here's what we're looking at. Anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 pockets of 4 inches of rain. So while we don't have the high wind or the hail, make sure you do not leave tomorrow without an umbrella.
All right. Yes. And we found out this morning that you prefer the umbrella over the rain slicker.
Yes, the rain
not argue about that
slicker is
anymore.
too constrictive. It gets hot. It sticks to you. I don't like galoshes. I'm good with an umbrella.
All right.
I've got one of those big golf umbrellas that is like all-encompassing because I happen to be like, I'm not extremely tall, but most of the people that I'm around for an event, I will be taller than. And so that way I can...
You can carry it and it still comes down enough to where your ankles don't get wet?
No, I can take care of them.
But when you're by yourself too, you don't have to worry about the rain coming in under because it's wide enough?
Right, like how wide of an umbrella do we need for me?
We could just have one with curtains on it. I like this. All right, thanks, Michael. Well, you might need one in the northeast because the first nor'easter of the season has begun soaking the region, bringing with it heavy rain and wind. Forecasters call it another bomb cyclone, and it's happening right after the first one blasted the west coast. leaving a massive cleanup. Elise Preston reports from Hoboken, New Jersey.
A tree toppled onto a car in Queens, New York Tuesday as the region faced what forecasters are calling a bomb cyclone.
The whole trunk is out, the windshield is gone. That looks bad.
The rain began late Monday night in New Jersey, where many people are still trying to recover from flooding remnants of Hurricane Ida brought in early September.
I'm a little worried because I got flooded in a couple of my properties, and if we lose it again, I'm going bankrupt.
A flash flood watch is in effect for more than 31 million people across the Northeast. Between 3 to 6 inches of rain is expected before it's all over, plus heavy winds that could cause power outages.
This is about as extreme a pattern as it gets.
I'm walking alongside a washed out street in Hoboken, New Jersey, but very carefully, just a few feet away, I can't even see how far down the water goes. And there's a stalled out car in the middle of the roadway. In the state of New Jersey, there are a few thousand people without power. And the governor says that number is almost certainly going to go up as the storm continues throughout the day.
It's a long storm and with significant parameters in terms of rain, potential flooding, high winds.
The severe weather in the Northeast comes as the Midwest cleans up from more than a dozen tornadoes that slammed Missouri and Illinois on Sunday.
It's just a total massive destruction.
And the West Coast is also trying to recover from its own bomb cyclone that dumped record-setting rainfall over the weekend. That system could make its way to the Northeast by Friday. Elise Preston, CBS News, Hoboken, New Jersey.
Massachusetts, Cape Cod could also see hurricane force wind gusts because of the nor'easter. Shooting at Boise, Idaho's largest shopping mall killed 2 people and sent shoppers into a panic. 4 other people were hurt yesterday, including one of the officers who confronted the gunman. The Gun Violence Archive says it was the 585th mass shooting in America this year. We're learning new information about the investigation into the deadly shooting on the set of an Alec Baldwin movie in New Mexico. The actor fired a prop gun last week that accidentally killed a cinematographer and wounded the director. There are new concerns about what happened on the set before the shooting and whether industry rules on gun safety were followed. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at Noon.
It's been a tough growing season for pumpkin farmers across the country. I'm Bradley Blackburn with what it might mean for your pumpkin picking.
And later, we're making Grandma Lois's pot roast in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Today is National Pumpkin Day, but this year picking pumpkins is a little pricier because of a difficult growing season in many parts of the country. Bradley Blackburn explains why.
Kimberly Vasquez, Alex Cassiano, and their pup are searching for the perfect pumpkin.
We want it to be vibrant, medium size.
Picture perfect.
Picture perfect, exactly.
At Elwood Pumpkin Farm on New York's Long Island, they got the gourd and the photo. But this year, the big picture for growers is complicated.
Pumpkins, if you look at it the wrong way, it might not happen.
Farmer Lee Itzler has been growing pumpkins here for a decade. He says rain from 2 massive storms came at the worst possible time. It stopped bees from pollinating pumpkin flowers, so many pumpkins just never grew, cutting into this season's crop. How long has it been growing?
120 days.
120 days.
The big ones take the longest.
In the western states, drought forced farmers to scale back planting. Nash Ranch in California is trucking in pumpkins.
I had to order a lot of pumpkins to supplement our own crop. So you have to go into it just knowing that you're not going to make any money.
More than 4 in 10 consumers plan to carve a pumpkin this year, but it's not just the big jack-o'-lanterns that are impacted. It's also been a challenging season for smaller pie pumpkins. In Illinois, pumpkin blight surged due to heat and moisture, threatening to cause shortages of canned pumpkin for Thanksgiving pies.
Oh, it's too heavy?
Most people who want a pumpkin should be able to find one.
It's the fall. We wanted pumpkins to carve.
But the selection could be slim and more expensive.
Thank you
again.
Bye-bye.
Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Huntington, New York.
Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Today, I have Grandma Lois in the kitchen, and we're cooking up a storm. Bring your appetite and maybe even your dancing shoes.
First, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Even with the overcast skies that we've developed here throughout the course of our morning, still going to be warmer than what we were yesterday. That's because we've already eclipsed it. 63 degrees is where we stand over 7th and Rangeline. 61 is actually where we topped out yesterday at Joplin Regional Airport. Wide variety of temperatures as we see the colder temps begin to move in from the north right there. So while we see 58 in Fort Scott and 59 in Nevada, we're already up close to 70 in Miami and Grove. Monette's at 59, as is Pittsburgh. It's a little bit of here, there, and everywhere. We've also seen the wind with a very good uptick, rolling double digits right now in just about all of our airports as it whips in from the southeast, and slowly but surely it'll move in from the south and the southwest, and that's why we're able to warm up just a tad bit into the 70s, despite the fact that we're not going to have a whole lot of afternoon sunshine. And to put it into perspective, where were we at this point in time yesterday? Nice little double-digit increase. So yeah, it'd be nice if we had some more sun, but still at the same point in time, considering what other people have had with their cold fronts, and we were the ones that remember, we were 20 degrees down from yesterday, so it's nice to see us up in the positive numbers. Move that cold front east of the Mississippi, and then we'll talk about what's developing out to our west. A little bit of cloud cover for the central portion of the 4 states, but with the barometer falling, everything out here is an indicator of what is on its way, and what it is, good old collision course. We know when we see the color contour right there begin to warm up, hits cold front, low pressure system going to head our way. Now, at the meantime, still have the ridge of the jet stream right there. Not exactly hanging over us like it was this morning, but still means we're going to have above normal temperatures. All right, let's talk about bomb cyclones, bombogenesis, blah, 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 blah. It's done. West Coast can calm down. Tell you who cannot calm down. We got another one. East Coast. This thing's a mess out here. I was talking to a buddy of mine in New York City this morning. He's like, I'm not even going to drive. Can't even see. It's coming down so hard, and that's widespread rain. As they had another bomb cyclone for their nor'easter. That's when the millibars dropped 24 millibars in 24 hours. And so we've turned our attention from one extreme on the West Coast to now this extreme on the East Coast. Now for us, we're going to get our fair share of rain too, because here it is, right here, indicated, just on the other side of the Rockies. And what it's going to do is, while we're the recipients of that warm front right there, and all the cooler temperatures stay down to the southeast, go ahead right for us. So after we get out of this afternoon, say low to mid 70s, mid 70s more so down to the south and to the west. In the north and the east, we're going to be kind of stuck in the low 70s, maybe even high 60s. Is as good as you're going to get. But then overnight, here's where the key factor comes into play. As the clouds build and the thunderstorms arrive. As they do, we'll get them from the west, we'll get them from the south. Here's key factor. You know tomorrow's going to be a wet one. And it'd be nice if they would sprint through. But what they're going to do is stall out when they get over the Ozarks right here. And when that happens, then counterclockwise motion as this thing whips right back around. And that's why we're going to have it all the way into Thursday. Now, no chance for high winds or hail or anything of that nature, so we like that. But the accumulation numbers, they keep on a-coming, especially for our rivers up to the north. That's what I want people to be apprised of. The farther north that you live for Wednesday into Thursday, know that flooding is going to be our imminent problem. Right. Hey kids, Halloween looks great.
Yeah.
By the way, kids, if you're watching me, maybe you're not feeling well because you should be in school.
That's a good point. Or maybe they're watching from the classroom.
Probably not. If any teacher that now has the KOAM News at Noon on, I would like you to check your curriculum and your lesson plans. And trust me, as the son of a teacher, I know that you do lesson plans all week long.
And if you're looking for good grammar, don't listen to him, according to This Morning.
But if you really want to entertain your students, you should flip us on.
Well, it might be a journalism class. It might be a news production class.
God bless them. Let me come talk to your class then.
What's up? He's offering.
Yes.
Yeah,
let me come tell themselves what they're getting.
We keep it real. That's
what they're
sure.
getting into. Right, exactly.
All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Staff Sergeant Richard Ludlum in the U.S. Army. The airman hails from Erie, Kansas. He joined the 31st Munitions Squadron in 2001 and served until 2003. He earned an Achievement Medal and the Global War on Terrorism Medal. To Staff Sergeant Richard Ludlam, we thank you, our 4th state hero. Well, today's recipe is so comforting you'll think your own grandma cooked it. Well, close. Howard shows us how to make Grandma Lois's pot roast in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Every month or so, we like to do a segment called Grandma's Best Recipes, where we highlight some of the most seasoned cooks in the country. And joining us today is Grandma Lois, who's a mother of 4, has 5 grandchildren, and has a real passion for line dancing. Welcome, Lois. What was dinner time like at your house?
Well, having 4 very active kids and my mom and my sister living with my husband and I, when it came to dinner, everything needed to be easy. And if it could be made in one pot, like my pot roast, all the better. To make it, all I do is brown a chuck roast in a heavy pot with an onion before simmering it with some beef broth, water, and garlic for about an hour. Then we'll add some potatoes and carrots and cook these until everything is tender.
And I love how you told me that you thickened it up with a mixture of flour and water, shaken in a bottle, and then you would just pour it in. Let me tell you, one taste of Lois's pot roast, and there's no wonder she never had trouble getting her kids to the table. If you'd like the recipe for Grandma Lois's pot roast, all you have to do is go online. It's really good. Lois, thanks for taking some time away from your line dancing to join us today.
Oh, I've enjoyed every minute of it.
It's been fun, hasn't it?
It has.
Because when a recipe is this good and Grandma approved, you can bet that everybody will be saying, "Ooh, it's so good."
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
Let's fast forward through today because we're going to be in the 70s and everything will be calm. It's tomorrow morning where we're going to need the umbrella, and you're going to need it not only through Wednesday but all the way through Thursday. And on top of that, I'd go ahead and grab a jacket as well because our temperatures drop into the 50s. Dow and Tanya, just a little friendly reminder, it is Red Ribbon Week. Great time to teach your kids about the lasting legacy of late DEA agent Enrique Carmena.
Wow, good message.
It's also National Pumpkin Day. A good day to carve those pumpkins.
It's always a good day.
Finally
carving
carving
pumpkins.
What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, independent bookstores all over the world have been fighting to stay afloat against e-retailers like Amazon. In France, lawmakers have tried for years to give them a leg up by introducing minimum book prices and prohibiting free shipping. And now new legislation is going further, setting a minimum cost for shipping books so brick and mortar stores can keep competing. Plus, the latest on Tar Creek and the efforts to clean up that contaminated water. And we'll get a sneak peek of the bicentennial quilt and what each square means to Missouri history. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, KOAM News at 5.
All right. Thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.